Today, guys, I'm going to be going over the finalized balance changes. These balance changes are going to go live in-game on January 12th. Don't ask why they're going live almost halfway through the season in the middle of the month. I don't really know why. I guess they came out later because the balance makers were on holiday, I'm pretty sure, for New Year, which I guess makes a little bit of sense, but they are coming out pretty late. But anyways, guys, the Evolved Skeleton Barrel nerf was increased. Originally, guys, it was only going to be a 5% nerf to the death damage, but now it's going to be 8%. So it's going to be decreased all the way to 220 from 238. I'm glad they increased it a little bit more because the 5% likely wouldn't have been enough, and then it probably would have called for another nerf down the road. The Hero Musketeer nerf, guys, is going to stay the same. So the turret's going to continue to spawn as quickly when the ability button is pressed, but it's going to take 1 second longer for it to lock on a target and start attacking. After this change, it will now be possible to react to the turret before it locks onto your tower. So the deploy time, guys, is basically just getting increased by a second, as I already talked about a couple weeks ago, so that's staying the exact same. The mini Pekka nerf, guys, to the hero is also staying the same, where the damage healed is getting basically reduced by 25%. The mini Pekka itself, though, is actually getting a nerf, which I'm going to be going over later. They decided to just nerf the base mini Pekka as well, guys, but this nerf is staying the same. The Hero Knight nerf, guys, as well, that shield hit points nerf, 6% nerf. I actually think they might have changed that a little bit because I thought it might have been slightly more than that, but I think maybe they decided to reduce it to 6%. Originally, it might have been 8%, but either way, guys, it's getting reduced, and it's going down to 768, that bonus it's getting to the hit points. And the Evolved Skeleton Army, guys, is actually getting an additional nerf. Originally, guys, they were just nerfing the Ghost speed by 33%, making it basically go from fast to medium, but now, guys, the general is going to be one tile higher. So the general is going to be a tile higher, which essentially means it's not going to get tanked for as long. So both of these should realistically be, well, these should be nerfs, hopefully. These should be nerfs without a doubt, because it means that you're going to have a harder time tanking for the general, and there's some weird placements for the Evo Skarmy where you could just play it and it would stay behind the river or something like that. Now it'll probably go in front, and it's the same when you play it in the pocket. So this is overall, very good, I think. The Golden Knight, guys, is getting a nerf. This is new altogether. This originally wasn't going to happen. The ability cooldown, guys, is getting increased by 50%. It's basically going from 8 to 12 seconds. This is a really big nerf. What this basically means is you're way less likely going to be able to get a second ability off now that you have to wait 4 more seconds. And I think that's why they did it in the first place. They realized almost every single Golden Knight you played, you could use it defensively, and then you could use it again on offense pretty much every single time because it was only 8 seconds. Now with it being 12 seconds, you're not going to be able to do that literally every single time. And now you might very rarely be able to get a second ability off, especially when it's, single elixir and there's not as much going on. The Dark Goblin, guys, this is brand new as well. They decided to give it a 3% damage nerf. The main reason they probably did this is because Logbait did finish #1 in the world last season, proving it is very strong. And also the Suspicious Bush spam decks, guys, have been running rampant recently with the Dark Goblin. So the Dark Goblin is getting a 3% damage nerf. A very small nerf, but probably going to change a couple interactions, especially when it locks on a tower. It's going from 156 to 151. Very small, but going to be a little bit noticeable for sure, especially if it's locking on a tank. This is new, guys. The mini Pekka is going to be getting a nerf. This affects both the regular mini Pekka as well as the hero. It's only a 3% nerf, so it's not losing all of the hit points buff it got, which I believe was 5 or 6% a few months ago. It's going from 1,433 to 1,390. I feel like this is all right, and definitely going to balance it out alongside the hero itself, which is getting a nerf, while making sure the base mini Pekka still stays solid. So I think they did a good job of this overall. The boss Bandit, guys, it's going to be an overall nerf, they say. After this change, it's no longer going to one-shot the Dark Goblin Princess and guard shields. The goal is to make her ability more situational. By reducing her dash damage, she will be better versus swarm cards like the Goblin because of her faster hit speed, however. So the hit speed basically is being increased by 9%, and the damage is going down by 9%. So it's kind of an exact trade-off, but it's overall supposed to be a nerf. So we'll see if that's the case. The Furnace buff, guys, is changing slightly. Originally, it was going to go all the way to 1.6. They're instead going to make it 1.7, which is better. I don't know why it was getting a 0.2 buff to begin with. That was a bit much, especially for the evolution. That would have made the evolution way too good, in my opinion, because keep in mind, it's buffing both forms, not just the regular Furnace. So this way, it's going to ensure it's not too OP. I'm really glad they only made it 0.1. That was a very good call, and I'm glad they adjusted that. So it's only going to be increased by 6% now, which is a great change. The Ram Rider, guys, the buff is staying the same. The hit speed is being increased by, well, 6%, getting a 6% buff. It's going from 1.8 to 1.7. Pretty deserved, I would say, because it's been well worse than it's been significantly worse than the Battle Ram recently, for sure. There's just been hardly anyone running the Ram Rider, even inside of Pekka decks. So I think this is just going to make it be a little bit more viable in the meta. The Giant Skeleton, guys, the buff it's getting is changed. Instead of the death damage getting buffed, they're buffing the hit speed. So now the hit speed is going from 1.4 to 1.3. Kind of interesting. In my opinion, I think this is probably overall a smaller buff to the Giant Skeleton because I don't really think people use him for the hit speed. They use him for the actual death damage bomb. So I don't know how I feel about this one. I don't think he's going to be that much better. He might be slightly better in a couple decks, but this might not make a big difference. That's kind of my prediction. But we'll see how time plays out. He might be really good inside of Royal Hog decks again, and also with the Royal Giant. The Little Prince guy's buff is staying the same, 5% damage buff, going from 99 to 104. Pretty deserved. Still might be on the weaker end even after this, but I think it'll be at least good inside of maybe minor decks. And the Graveyard guys, the Skeleton spawn is going to change from being random to fixed and a defined pattern, but this also means skeleton count is going to go from 13 to 14. So I guess people are very quickly going to learn what the pattern is and memorize it, so then they might have an easier time countering it, but then to compensate for that, there is going to be one more skeleton. So yeah, we'll see how this plays out. It's going to be pretty interesting to see this video to compare. They did post a video there. I don't know if I'm going to... Okay, instead of the video, here's a static visualization, visualization of the pattern. There are 7 skeleton spawn locations, which repeats. In total, 14 skeletons will be spawned. So, as you guys can see, it's these circles where they spawn. So, 7. And is it random, like, among the 7 circles, or what? Is it always the same pattern? I don't... Well, I guess I, on the dead build myself, didn't test this out, by the way. That's why I don't know. But either way, I think these balance changes are even better, especially since they included things like the... I really like that they included things like the Dark Goblin, the Golden Knight, and the Mini Pekka. These are definitely better. Probably would have liked to see a couple more buffs, but I think with the addition of these nerfs, these are definitely better than the work in progress balance changes. So these are alright. Would have liked to see more buffs, but they're decent. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe. You can use creator code BOSS to support me in any Supercell game, and thanks again until next time, guys.